Welcome to this special tribute as we give God thanks for the legacy of faithful leadership that we have enjoyed over the past 35 years in the life of our denomination. There are 5 specially called and gifted persons who have provided leadership over this 35-year period. These faithful 5 are A. Dale Fires, Kenneth Teagarden, John Humbert, William Nichols, and Richard Ham. Each one has led us through periods of transformation that has empowered and strengthened us for the future. Mr. President of the Christian Church Disciples of Christ, Dr. Humbert served for 6 years in this capacity. Dr. Humbert was born in Kansas City, Missouri, and reared in Ohio. He served on staff of the Ohio region and pastorates in Ohio and Washington, D.C. before becoming Deputy General Minister and President, where he worked with Dr. Teagarden for 8 years before becoming the 3rd General Minister and President. After retiring, he served on the faculty of Christian Theological Seminary in Indianapolis. He was an excellent pastor in a time disciples were beginning to experience reduced resources. Dr. Humbert helped us think in terms of whole church priorities. He was a model of faith for us all in the manner he endured personal tragedies with tuberculosis, the loss of his son to AIDS, and the death of his granddaughter in a car accident. He and his wife, Joanne, had 3 children, Deborah, Jeffrey, and the late John D. Humbert. I know you've had some heartaches too. Do you care to share any of that?
They discovered that I had tuberculosis, and they put me immediately into a TB sanitarium. Mm-hmm. Where I was for 4 months or more. The first night I was there, the man in the next room died. And it was a time of really testing of my spirit. And having to face up to the meaning of suffering and faith. Mm-hmm. Our John went to Kenyon College in Ohio and then to law school at Case Western Reserve in Cleveland, and then practiced law in California and lived in Santa Monica. In 1989, he went to the hospital with pneumocystic pneumonia, as it turned out, and was diagnosed with AIDS. Mm-hmm. We left immediately to be with him, and we're there with him in the hospital. It was a floor in the hospital in Los Angeles that was for AIDS patients. It was heartbreaking to see so many of them who were all alone, no one coming to visit. And we, Joanne and I, surrounded our Johnny with our love. And then we're there until he came home from the hospital. He did fairly well for about a year or 9 months, and then he began to fail. And then he died in May of 1990.
You are our 3rd General Minister and President of the Christian Church Disciples of Christ in the United States and Canada. Share with us some of the highlights of that time in your ministry.
It was a time in which I felt as a leader that we needed to bring the 3 manifestations of our church, congregation, region, and general more closely together. Mm-hmm. And I had a series of listening conferences after I first became General Minister and President all over the country. I said I would have 8, turned out to be close to 20, in which I tried to listen to what people were saying about what they loved about the disciples, what they enjoyed about the disciples, what they felt our strengths were, and what was it that we needed to improve and in which we needed to grow. And growing out of that, I led the General Board to establish a priority that we needed to develop vital congregations who are dynamic in reconciling the world. And that became our priority.
John, what are your hopes and your prayers for the future of the Christian Church Disciples of Christ?
During my period as General Minister and President, one of the great things that occurred was our study and discussion with the United Church of Christ. And while I was in office, we voted full communion between our two bodies, and the joy of that. And my hope and prayer is that we can be a vital part of the community of faith and Christ in our nation and in our world through that. I still believe that our priority needs to be the developing of vital congregations as dynamic faith communities, and to undergird our ministry for the vitality of ministry. It is a calling in which the energy needs to be present, and in which we see the importance and the utter reality of a world in such deep need for the gospel and the sharing of the gospel. Evangelism has got to be at the heart of who we are, the winning of persons. There are so many people who are seeking spiritual sustenance. They're looking in all different directions. We have, as disciples, we have the kind of church, thoughtful, committed, heart and head, that so many people are looking for. And I pray that our mission can be one that reaches out to those people who are searching, and that as we are a community, that we can be vital in reaching into the communities around us and to the uttermost parts of the world in partnership with others for the gospel and peace and justice.
Are there any other words of wisdom and encouragement for pastors and or congregations you'd like to share, John?
Think what opportunity you have to be part of the life of your people, to love them and to be loved. And you need to love them enough to be indebted to them for their love for you and accept it. And together find the joy of the faith, the beauty of relationships, the quality of community life that is so attractive to others who are seeking